Tonight, let us travel far back in time to a land of sweeping grasslands and endless skies. This is the story of the Mongol Empire, an empire born from the winds of the steppe, carried by horses and arrows, and guided by the vision of a single man who began life with almost nothing. The Mongol Empire grew to become the largest land empire in history, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe. But it is not only a story of battles, it is a story of families moving with the seasons, of merchants crossing deserts, of scholars and artisans, and of the ways empires rise and fall. So lie back, close your eyes, and imagine the sound of hooves echoing across an endless plain, under a sky bright with stars. The Mongolian steppe is vast, a sea of grass with no walls or fences, only the horizon. Here winters are long and bitter, winds cutting across the land like blades. Summers are dry and hot, with storms rolling suddenly across the plains. Life on the steppe is hard, but it breeds resilience. Families live in round felt tents called gers or yurts, which can be packed and moved as the seasons change. Herds of sheep, goats, yaks, and horses provide food, milk, and clothing. Children learn to ride almost as soon as they can walk. Horses are life itself, transportation, companionship, even warmth on freezing nights. Archery and hunting are skills taught yearly, for survival depends on them. This was the world that shaped the Mongols, a people hardened by nature, but also bound together by community, loyalty, and tradition. Into this world, around 1162, a boy named Temujin was born near the Onon River. His father, Yesugei, was a tribal leader, but when Temujin was still a child, Yesugei was poisoned by enemies. With his father gone, Temujin's family was abandoned by their clan. His mother, Huelun, struggled to feed her children, gathering roots and berries. The family endured hunger, cold, and danger. Temujin grew up with hardship pressing on every side. Yet he also grew strong. He learned that loyalty could not be taken for granted, and that leadership meant more than noble blood. It meant fairness, courage, and trust. Even as a boy, he made alliances with other children, who would later become his generals. He married a young woman named Berthe, whose support and wisdom guided him throughout his life. The boy who once had nothing would rise to command millions. Temujin began uniting the feuding Mongol tribes one by one. Sometimes he fought, sometimes he negotiated, sometimes he offered friendship and marriage ties. He built loyalty by rewarding skill and merit rather than noble birth. A blacksmith's son could rise to be a general if he proved his worth. This fairness attracted followers who were tired of clan feuds. By 1206, at a great council called Kurultai, Temujin was declared Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. The Mongols, once scattered, were now one, and under their Khan, they would set out to change the world. The secret of the Mongols' success lay in their army. Every warrior was a skilled rider and archer. The Mongol bow, made of wood, horn, and sinew, could fire arrows farther than most armies could reach. Warriors carried several horses, switching between them to stay fresh. Discipline was strict. If one man fled, his whole unit might be punished. If they fought bravely, all were rewarded. Orders were given by drums, flags, and torches echoing across the battlefield. The army could travel faster than anyone imagined, up to 100 kilometers in a day. Enemies often did not even know the Mongols were near until arrows rained from the sky. Genghis Khan also created a code of law called the Yasa. It demanded loyalty, punished theft, and protected messengers and trade. Religious tolerance was enforced. Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and others could all worship freely under Mongol rule. The Yasa gave order to a growing empire that might otherwise have fallen apart. The Mongols first turned toward China. Great walled cities resisted, but the Mongols learned siegecraft, building towers and catapults. One by one, the northern kingdoms fell. Then came the Khwarezmian Empire in Persia and Central Asia. When a Mongol trade caravan was killed, Genghis Khan sent envoys, but they were executed. Furious, he unleashed his armies. Cities that resisted were destroyed. Cities that surrendered were spared. Word spread. To resist the Mongols was death, but to submit could bring safety. The empire grew like a storm rolling across continents. The Mongols were conquerors, but they were also builders of connections. They created a network of relay stations called the Yam, where riders could switch horses and deliver messages across thousands of miles. Trade flourished along the Silk Road. Silk, spices, jewels, and glass moved from one end of Eurasia to the other. Merchants were protected, and bandits feared Mongol patrols. In markets, you might find Chinese porcelain, Persian carpets, Russian furs, and Indian spices side by side. The Mongols also encouraged scholars, doctors, and artisans to travel and share their knowledge. Ideas flowed as freely as goods. In China, Mongol rulers blended their customs with Chinese traditions, eventually founding the Yuan dynasty under Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson. In Persia, Mongol rulers built palaces, mosques, and observatories. Artists painted miniature manuscripts, mixing Persian elegance with Mongol themes. On the steppe, many nomads still lived as before, moving with their herds, but now under the banner of a vast empire. Religious tolerance meant that in one city you might see mosques, churches, and temples standing side by side. After Genghis Khan died in 1227, his empire was divided among his sons, but expansion continued. Ögedei Khan led campaigns into Eastern Europe, reaching Hungary and Poland. Batu Khan established the Golden Horde, ruling Russia for centuries. Hulagu Khan conquered Baghdad in 1258, ending the Abbasid Caliphate. Kublai Khan defeated the Song dynasty in China and founded the Yuan dynasty ruling from Beijing. Under Kublai, the empire reached its greatest glory. Even European travelers like Marco Polo came to his court and marveled at its wealth and order. The Mongols connected civilizations that had once been far apart. Gunpowder traveled from China to the Middle East and Europe. Paper money spread across continents. Maps improved as merchants and scholars shared knowledge. European envoys met Mongol rulers, hoping to form alliances. Muslim scholars debated with Buddhist monks in Mongol courts. Though the Mongols were feared, they also created a bridge across the world. But empires rise and fall. By the late 1200s, the Mongol Empire was too large to govern as one. Rivalries between heirs divided it into four main khanates: the Golden Horde in Russia, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, the Yuan dynasty in China. As unity faded, enemies grew stronger. The Black Death swept along trade routes, devastating populations. By the 14th century, the Mongol Empire was crumbling. By the 15th, it was gone. Yet their legacy endured. The Silk Road reached its greatest heights under their rule. Knowledge, inventions, and art traveled further than ever before. The Mongols showed how a small nation could, through unity and vision, shape the world. Even today, their memory lingers in the cultures of Asia, the architecture of Persia, and the stories told across the steppes. And now, as you drift to sleep, imagine the steppe at night, the stars stretched endlessly across the sky. A campfire flickers, horses breathe softly, their silhouettes dark against the grass. The Mongol Empire rose like a storm, swept across the earth, and then faded into history. But the wind of the steppe still carries the echoes of hooves and the memory of a people who once ruled the largest empire the world had ever seen. So rest now, with those echoes fading into the distance. The story is finished, and dreams await. Good night.